Good morning and welcome to the Committee on Ways and Means. Committee Secretary, will you please call the roll? And I am here. Will you please mark Assemblymember Hafen present when he arrives? Good morning and welcome to everyone joining us here in Carson City and those in Las Vegas and those joining us by phone. We have several bills on the agenda today. We will not be taking those bills in order. We will be recessing around 10:30, 10:45 for members to go to caucus and go to floor. We will come back sometime this afternoon after the afternoon committees. So don't call and say, are we starting yet? Are we starting yet? I have no clue. We're at that time of session. We will have public comment at the very end of our meeting for today. And if people would like to call in for public comment, that number is 888-475-4499. Our meeting ID is 83503243-165, and then please press pound. In public comment, you have 2 minutes to speak. We have several bills that have already had their policy hearing. This is the fiscal committee, so we're here just to talk about the fiscal aspects of bills. However, later this afternoon, we will have a bill that has not had a policy hearing, so we'll have its policy hearing and fiscal. And in that, we will be limiting testimony to a half hour in support, half hour in opposition, and a half hour in the neutral, and the comments will be limited to 2 minutes per person. We have a few of our budget bills, and we will start with those. Members, I will remind you that you heard each one of these budget bills in a BDR walkthrough just a few days ago. Seems like a long time ago, but I think it was just a day or two ago. And so we need to get those to the floor, so we will start with those first. With that, we will open the hearing on Senate Bill 500, which ensures sufficient funding for K-12 public education for the biennium. And we'll invite staff to the table. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you. Although none of you danced with me last night at the committee party, but it's okay. It's all right. We still love you.
Good morning, Madam Chair. James Malone, LCB Fiscal, for the record. You may have forgotten we did share a hug.
We did. We did. Okay. That was better than a dance.
Okay. SB 500 is the 2025 K-12 education bill. It ensures sufficient funding for K-12 public education for the 2025-2027 biennium. This bill, or the BDR, was introduced May 19th in the evening, where we had walked the committee through the provisions of the bill. Nothing has changed since that meeting, and so we are here and available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Members, we did have the walkthrough of this bill when it was in BDR form, and at that point, you all had opportunities to ask questions. You've since had a chance to go through it. Do you have any questions for staff this morning? All right. Not seeing any. Thank you so much. I don't have a. All right, we will move to testimony in support for Senate Bill 500. If there's anyone that would like to testify in support for Senate Bill 500, I invite you to the tables here in Carson City and in Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach the table, broadcast, do we have anyone on the phone that would like to testify in support of Senate Bill 500?
To testify in support of Senate Bill 500, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers in support.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Senate Bill 500, I invite you to the tables in Carson City and Las Vegas. Good morning.
Good morning, Alexander Marks with the Nevada State Education Association. It's a serious concern for our schools and the students we teach and educate that we have to oppose this bill. Even before session, NSEA members warned the legislature that a mere $2 increase in per pupil funding will be devastating to Nevada schools. Everyone knows Nevada is chronically underfunded, and it's so bad that even after last session's increases, we still trail the national average by $4,000 per pupil. Nevada educators have consistently implored lawmakers this session to pass the plan offered by the Commission on School Funding to ensure $700 annual increases to reach the national average in a decade. At this point, it seems ironic that the legislature, not NSEA, created the commission and requested this plan. Meanwhile, the governor has repeated that Nevada can no longer accept a lack of funding for poor school performance. However, he's failed to acknowledge that Nevada is still near the bottom in per pupil funding, 47th with the largest class sizes in the nation. He dismissed the commission's plan as being advisory and also dismissed the NRS, which calls on him to increase base per pupil funding by at least the combined rate of inflation. Instead of the $530 from the committee's closing documents, he went with $2, which will not keep up with increasing costs, the PERS increase coming in July, or most classroom items on a classroom wish list. In response to his budget proposal, Nevada school districts have been discussing deficits and deliberating cuts to schools. The good news is the legislature does have the opportunity to stay on track with the commission's plan. Even after using the ESA to offset the reduction in anticipated revenue, we still have about $2 billion in reserves, which is more than enough to cover the $640 million called by the commission. SB 500 will turn this 10-year plan into at least a 12 to 15-year plan if we're lucky. It's easy to do the right thing when times are good. The question of commitment to Nevada's schools is best answered when things are more difficult. It is once again a rainy day in Nevada. We heard that from the speaker last week. We heard that we have the money. The legislature must be prepared to use the reserves to maintain momentum to keep Nevada on track. We urge the legislature to pass an education budget that reflects real commitment to Nevada's schools. This does not have to be the $2 session.
Thank you. Seeing no one else here at the table in Carson City to provide testimony in opposition and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines. Do we have anyone on the phone that would like to testify in opposition of Senate Bill 500?
To testify in opposition to Senate Bill 500, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. We'll move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Senate Bill 500, I invite you to the tables here in Las Vegas, in Carson City and in Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we'll go to the phone lines one last time to see if we have anyone join us that would like to provide neutral testimony on Senate Bill 500.
To testify in neutral to Senate Bill 500, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much. And I don't anticipate that the presenters of the bill have any closing comments. Then we will close the hearing on Senate Bill 500. And we will open the hearing on Senate Bill 501. And Senate Bill 501 authorizes expenditures by agencies of the state government for the 25-27 biennium. And welcome staff to the table. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. John Cusero, LCB Fiscal. I'm again joined by Morgan Barlow and Tom Weber. As fiscal staff, it's always safer to travel in numbers. SB 501 was presented as a BDR 1231 just earlier this week on Monday, May 19th. No changes have been made, and Madam Chair, we stand open for any questions.
Thank you so much. Members, again, you had the opportunity to walk through this this bill when it was in BDR draft form with staff and the opportunity to ask questions at that time. And then had a day or two to look through the BDR draft that is now our bill. Are there any questions? Not seeing any questions for staff. Thank you so much. And we will open testimony, support testimony. If there's anyone here that would like to testify in support of Senate Bill 501, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go to our phone line. Do we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in support of Senate Bill 501 joining us by phone?
If you would like to testify in support of Senate Bill 501, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers in support.
Thank you so much. We'll move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Senate Bill 501, I invite you to the tables here in Carson City and the table in Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we'll go back to the phone lines again to see if we have anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Senate Bill 501.
If you would like to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 501, please press star 9 now to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. We will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Senate Bill 501, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach, we'll go to the phone line one last time to see if we've had anyone join us that would like to provide neutral testimony on Senate Bill 501.
If you would like to testify in neutral for Senate Bill 501, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral testimony.
Thank you so much, and we'll ask the presenters if they have any closing remarks. They're shaking their heads no. Thank you so much for being here this morning, even though you two did not dance with me last night at the party. That's okay. They did hug. Yes, I did give some great hugs, so that was good. We will close the hearing on Senate Bill 501, and we will open the hearing on Senate Bill 502. Good morning, Mr. Leiser.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brody Leiser with the Fiscal Analysis Division. I will dance with you and everyone on this committee as well
And
as
you did last night, and gave a great hug.
I would also dance with anyone that's in this room anytime that they would like. So I will present Senate Bill 502, which was presented by staff on Monday evening in the BDR form. Senate Bill 502 provides for the implementation of the 2025 Capital Improvement Program as approved by the money committees. The bill includes funding in the amount of $1.097 billion for the 2025 Capital Improvement Program and $113.8 million for resource conservation and preservation programs of the state outside of the CIP. Additionally, Senate Bill 502 includes $191.9 million in general obligation bonds and $33.9 million in general fund to support legislative capital improvement projects. And Madam Chair, I would be happy to answer any questions that members have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leiser. So members, once again, this is a bill that you had to walk through with staff when it was in the BDR form just a day or so ago, and had the opportunity to look through, read over the bill prior to today. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Leiser? Assemblymember Torres Fawcett.
Thank you, Mr. Leiser. It's been so long since I last saw you. I was just wondering if you could talk about your favorite maintenance project in this bill. Thank you.
You know, I think it's so difficult to choose just one. Assemblymember Torres Fawcett, that I couldn't possibly pick favorites. Just like I couldn't pick favorite legislators or favorite committees of this body. I love them all.
What a politically correct answer. Any other questions for Mr. Leiser? Not seeing any. Thank you so much for presenting. And we will invite to the table anyone that would like to testify in support of Senate Bill 502. Not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas. We'll go to the phone line. Do we have anyone that would like to testify in support of Senate Bill 502?
To testify in support of Senate Bill 502, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Senate Bill 502, I invite you to the tables in Carson City and Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we'll go to the phone lines and see if we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Senate Bill 502.
To testify in opposition to Senate Bill 502, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to neutral. Do we have anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Senate Bill 502? I invite you to the tables in Carson City and Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we'll go to the phone lines one last time to see if we have anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Senate Bill 502.
To testify in neutral to Senate Bill 502, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much. And seeing that Mr. Leiser has taken a seat back here on the dais, I don't believe he has any closing remarks. So we will close the hearing on Senate Bill 502, and we will take just a 1-minute quick recess. Thank you for your patience, and we will bring the Committee on Ways and Means Committee meeting back to order. And we will move to a work session. If you were in our committee earlier this week, we received permission from the speaker to work session bills as needed. So we will be conducting a work session for SB 500, 501, and 502. And we'll turn the mic over to our Chief Fiscal Analyst.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 500 relates to education. It makes appropriations relating to the base per pupil funding, weighted funding, and other educational purposes. Madam Chair, there are no amendments recommended for this piece of legislation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions? Not seeing any, I'll accept a motion to do pass for Senate Bill 500. We have a motion from Assembly Member Bacchus, a second from Assembly Member Hodeggy. Any discussion on the motion? Assembly Member Hafen.
Thank you, Chair. And my sincere compliments to you, the Speaker, to staff. A lot of work has gone into this budget. And I'm going to vote yes today with reservations pending the Speaker's bill to include the charter pay. I know the Speaker has been working very, very hard. He presented that bill, and I have faith that that is going to get across the finish line. And so I will be voting yes today on all three of the budgets, and I'll just make this disclosure once, pending obviously seeing the language and moving that forward. And so I just want to say thank you, Chair. Thank you to the Speaker, the Majority Leader, all of staff. We are moving in the right direction, so thank you.
Thank you. Assembly Member Dickman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. May I ditto for all three as well? Thank you.
Thank you. Assembly Member Hibbets.
Ditto.
Thank you. Assembly Member O'Neill. Thank you. All right, seeing no other discussion, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to our next bill for work session, Senate Bill 501.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Sarah Kaufman, Legislative Council Bureau Fiscal Analysis Division. Today, the committee heard Senate Bill 501, which authorizes expenditures by various officers, departments, boards, agencies, commissions, and institutions of the state government for the 2025 to 2027 biennium. Madam Chair, there are no recommended amendments for this piece of legislation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Not seeing any. Assembly Member Bacchus.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and this is more of a statement. Because Senate Bill 501 involves the Windsor Park Environmental Justice Act, I would like to advise the committee that as an attorney, one of my clients is Community Development Program Center of Nevada, which is the developer who was awarded the project under this act. Since the independence of judgment of a reasonable person in my position with respect to this item could be materially affected by legal employment, I am making this disclosure pursuant to Assembly Standing Rule 23 and will abstain from voting to approve Senate Bill 501.
Thank you so much for the statement of disclaimer. For abstention, any other questions or discussions? Not seeing any. I'll accept a motion to do pass.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion from Assembly Member Hodeggy, a second from Assembly Member Watts. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries with one abstention. And next, we'll open the work session for Assembly Bill 502.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 502 was heard today in Ways and Means. It relates to projects of capital improvement. It authorizes certain expenditures for certain projects for the executive and legislative departments of the state government. It also levies a property tax to support the Consolidated Bond Interest and Redemption Fund. Madam Chair, there are no recommended amendments for this bill.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kaufman. Members, any questions on Senate Bill 502? Not seeing any. I'll accept a motion to do pass.
Motion to pass. Second.
We have a motion from Assemblymember Bacchus, a second from Assemblymember Hodeggy. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries unanimously. And for the records, I will assign all those four statements, 500, 501, and 502, to myself. And that will close the work session. We'll go back to our agenda. And we will open the hearing for Assembly Bill 230, which is a measure that enacts the Ideology and Speech Language Pathology Interstate Compact, and invite Assemblymember Marzola to the table. Good morning and welcome to Ways.
Good morning, Chair Monroe Moreno and members of the committee. For the record, I'm Elaine Marzola, representing Assembly District 21. I'm the sponsor of Assembly Bill 230, which enacts the Ideology and Speech Language Pathology Interstate Compact. Nevada Speech Language Pathology, Audiology, and Hearing Aid Dispensing Board submitted a fiscal note stating that much was unknown regarding the potential impact on the board's revenue and expenses as the compact becomes operational. Since the fiscal note was submitted, Jennifer Pierce, Executive Director of the board, provided a written update on May 20th, 2025, which is available on Nellis, that based on the recent information received, there is no plan to assess a state participation fee, and the implementation of the compact will not occur until late fiscal year 2026 or beyond. Therefore, the board believes the current resources are sufficient to cover costs associated with AB 230, which would eliminate the fiscal note. Chair, I do have Jennifer Pierce with me if you would like her to add any additional information.
Thank you so much. And yes, any additional information would be great.
Good morning. Jennifer Pierce, for the record, Executive Director of the Nevada Speech Language Pathology, Audiology, and Hearing Aid Dispensing Board. I don't know that I have anything additional other than, in addition to the letter that I submitted on May 20th, and could answer any other questions to that.
We do have just a few questions, and I'll go to Assemblymember Bacchus first.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And I'm great to hear that this first, this biennium, there wouldn't be a state participation fee. But just looking at future biennium, do we have any knowledge what that participation fee would be for the state of Nevada?
Thank you, Jennifer Pierce, for the record. What the compact staff advised me was that they would not anticipate a state participation fee in the foreseeable future, and that if one were needed to be assessed, they would likely be looking at kind of a sliding fee scale based on the number of participants like the Psychology Compact does, but probably wouldn't exceed $6,000 annually, which is what the Nursing Compact charges. And so they did also indicate that there may be potential grant funding because they are currently supported by DOD and other professional organizations.
Thank you so much. Members, any other questions? Well, not seeing any. Thank you so much. We'll call to the table anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 230. Good morning and welcome to Ways.
Good morning, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Taylor Avery, Taylor Avery, and I'm the Manager of Political Affairs for the Vegas Chamber. The Vegas Chamber is in support of the fiscal policy of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good morning, Shauna Ross for the record. SHAWNAROSS, and I am here representing the Nevada Speech Language Hearing Association in support of this bill. So thank you for your consideration. And I also wanted to mention that May is National Speech Language Hearing Month. So we've been active in the community and trying to spread the word about our profession. So just wanted to put that in there. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Jennifer Pierce for the record from the Nevada Speech Language Pathology, Audiology, and Hearing Aid Dispensing Board. I didn't say it during the presentation, but on the record, the board is absolutely in support of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Not seeing anyone else approach to the table here in Carson City and not seeing anyone at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go to our phone lines to see if they have anyone that would like to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 230.
If you would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 230, please press star 9 to join the queue.
Good morning, Chair and members of this committee. My name is Catherine Nielsen. I'm the Executive Director of the Nevada Governor's Council on Developmental Disabilities. Due to this being a money committee and wanting to be brief and short, we'll echo and ditto all of the comments prior to us, and thank you for your time in hearing this bill today.
Thank you so much for joining us. Do we have any other callers?
Yes, Chair. One moment.
Good morning. My name is Kate. Good morning. My name is Casey Melvin. I'm the CEO of Tilton's Therapy and Tilton's Therapy for Tots. We are a multidisciplinary practice. We echo all previous comments in support of this bill. Thank you for considering.
Thank you so much. Next caller?
Good morning, Assembly members and Committee on Ways and Means. My name is Isabel Hatch, ISABELLEHATCH for the record, and I'm the Assistant Director of Government Affairs for the Associated Students in the University of Nevada, Reno, representing the undergraduate student body since 1898. I'm here today to express our strong support for AB 230, the adoption of the Audiology and Speech-Language Pathology Interstate Compact. To provide some background information, undergraduate students in the Speech Pathology and Audiology program at the University of Nevada, Reno must complete at least a master's degree, a clinical fellowship, and state licensure before entering the profession. However, they still must complete state-specific license processes, creating many financial barriers. AB 230 provides a critical solution by allowing Nevada to join the Audiology and Speech-Language Pathology Interstate Compact. It reduces administrative burdens for recent graduates and makes it easier for Nevada-trained professionals to return to practice in the state after gaining experience elsewhere. By reducing barriers to licensure and expanding postgraduate career opportunities, AB 230 has the ability to strengthen Nevada's ability to retain Nevada pathology and audiology students post-graduation. ASUN urges the committee to pass this legislation to support the future professional success of undergraduates on this career path. Thank you, and as always, go PAC.
Thank you. Next caller?
Chair, we have no additional callers to provide support.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 230, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go back to the phone line to see if there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 230.
To provide testimony in opposition to Assembly Bill 230, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. We will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 230, I invite you to the tables in Carson City and Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we'll go to the phone lines one last time to see if we have anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 230.
If you would like to testify in neutral for Assembly Bill 230, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much. We'll ask the presenter, and she is shaking her head no for closing comments. So we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 230. And we will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 344, which revises provisions relating to the judiciary. And welcome back, Assembly Member Marzola. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair Monroe Moreno and committee members. I am still Elaine Marzola and still representing Assembly District 21. It is my pleasure to introduce Assembly Bill 344 in its first reprint, which aims to modernize and improve various aspects of our judicial process, with a particular focus on child welfare proceedings and the appointment of attorneys in certain cases. Today, I am joined by Kelly Brandon, Supervising Deputy District Attorney, and Lisa Swearingen, Deputy Director of the Division of Welfare and Supportive Services, DWSS. The Division of Welfare and Supportive Services submitted a fiscal note of $433,060 for Assembly Bill 344 to update the IT systems and forms reflecting the change from master to judicial officer. However, DWSS will use federal incentive funds to cover the entire cost, resulting in no fiscal impact to the state. The agency also confirmed that the bill's effective date, providing a year from July 1st, 2025 to July 1st, 2026, gives sufficient time to complete these updates. I do have my co-presenters if you would like any additional information. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. So the 433,000 plus fiscal note has no impact on the general fund. Could you just expand upon that just a little more?
Good morning. For the record, Lisa Swearingen, Deputy Administrator for the Division of Welfare and Supportive Services. This is a child support bill, so we can use child support incentive dollars to pay for that. And so there will be no impact to the general fund for that.
Thank you so much for that update. Members, any other questions? Assemblymember Bacchus.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And the only other thing is, and I don't know if Douglas County, if anyone had reached out to Douglas County regarding their fiscal note, or if that just remains. It was just a small fiscal note of $17,500.
I have not heard anything additional from Douglas County. Oh, Kelly Brandon. I'm a supervising deputy district attorney in Carson City. I am also the statewide legislative subcommittee chair for the court improvement program for child welfare, and that's my capacity. I'm here today. We did not hear anything additionally from them. However, the statewide subcommittee does address this throughout the year. So they're a member of that subcommittee. During that session, their judicial body had indicated to us that there was not going to be a fiscal impact on them. So it is kind of contrary to the other information we have from them. The bill otherwise is consistent with what their current practice is, and that was why we had put forward the bill in terms of appointment of attorneys, and those decisions were based off of really what was going on in counties already and trying to make our law match up to the practice that was already taking place.
And thank you so much for that. I noticed the other counties didn't submit something, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any other questions? Not seeing any, and thank you so much for that clarification. We'll ask you to step back, and we'll invite to the table anyone that is here that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 344. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone line to see if we have anyone who would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 344.
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 344, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 344, I invite you to the tables in Carson City and Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we'll go to the phone lines one more time.
To testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 344, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much, and we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 344, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines one last time to see if we have anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 344.
Testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 344. Please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Sir, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much, and we'll ask the sponsor of the bill if there's any closing remarks, and she is shaking her head no, so we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 344. And moving on to the next bill on our agenda, we will open the hearing for Assembly Bill 428. 428 requires certain health plans to include coverage for fertility preservation services. And we'll welcome to the table, the first time before Ways and Means, Assembly Member Flanagan. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairman Marino and members of the committee. I am Tanya Flanagan, representing Assembly District 7. Thank you for allowing me to present Assembly Bill 428, which requires certain health plans to include coverage for fertility preservation services. I also believe Mr. Wadhams may be in the audience this morning or nearby. If not, I will do the best that I can. Cancer patients often face limited or no insurance coverage for fertility preservation. The National Institutes of Health reports that women nationally, the average cost for them is $10,000 to $15,000 for embryo preservation, and there are additional costs for annual storage fees. This bill requires public and private health plans, including Medicaid and insurance for state and local government employees, to provide coverage for certain procedures or services that are deemed medically necessary to preserve fertility, and for insured who have been diagnosed with breast cancer or ovarian cancer if the cancer may directly or indirectly cause infertility, or the insured is expected to receive medical treatment for cancer, and the treatment could directly or indirectly cause infertility. Under this bill, an insurer that is affiliated with a religious organization is not required to provide coverage if the insurer objects to providing the coverage on religious grounds and provides a written notice to insureds or prospective insurers disclosing that the insurer does not provide such coverage. The bill authorizes the Commissioner of Insurance to require a policy of individual health insurance issued by a domestic insurer to a person residing in another state to contain the coverage. There is an amendment to the bill 439 to address Section 3, subsection 3, to allow that an insurer shall ensure that the benefits required by subsection 1 are made available to an insured through a provider of health care who participates in the network plan of the insurer, or a provider of a health care that does not participate in the network plan of the insurer and who shall be paid in accordance with the health plan provisions with respect to in and out of network participation. Finally, the bill authorizes the Commissioner to suspend or revoke a certificate of a health maintenance organization that fails to provide such coverage. The Commissioner may also take such action against other health insurers that fail to provide such coverage. I will just offer that the Alliance for Fertility Preservation reports that 18 states and the District of Columbia have passed legislation that compels insurers to cover a portion or up to full coverage for fertility preservation procedures for cancer patients and others who are facing potential infertility as a result of medical treatment. Additionally, 18 other states are currently considering similar legislation. In the United States, there are roughly 268,000 women who are diagnosed with invasive breast cancer annually. 12% of these cases will be diagnosed in women under the age of 45, which translates to about 32,000 cases nationally per year. About 1% of the U.S. population lives in Nevada, meaning that we are looking at roughly 320 Nevada women. Thank you for the opportunity to present, Chairman Marino. If there are any questions, I will do my best.
Thank you so much for the presentation. And I'm not sure if you stated it. Have you amended the implementation date for this policy to go into effect?
I did not mention that. I have not amended it. I am happy to do so if necessary.
I thought that there was a conceptual amendment adjusting the implementation date to January 1st of 2027.
It was not presented to me, but if it is, I'm fine with that date. I have no objections to the implementation of the date. I'm happy to have it included in the legislation.
Thank you. And there were several fiscal notes, one from PEB, the Business and Industry Division, Healthcare, Financing Policy, and then Elko School District, Carson City, and Clark. If we have PEB, or Business and Industry, and Healthcare, Finance, and Policy in the room, if they could just meet you at the table to speak to their fiscal notes, that would be great. Good morning. Welcome to Ways.
Good morning. Stacy Weeks for the record, Nevada Medicaid Committee Members Chair. With the extension to by 12 months, it would reduce the fiscal note to $228,034 for State General Fund. My colleague here, Ann Jensen, can speak to the total computable if you would like the federal share as well, but it does reduce the fiscal note down to that total for the State General Fund cost. It does make sense for us to delay it by 12 months because we will need to seek a waiver because this does not offer the benefit to the entire population. So when we do that, we have to seek a federal waiver.
Perfect. That would be, and if you could speak to the total, thank you.
Absolutely. Good morning, Madam Chair, committee members, Ann Jensen for the record, Nevada Medicaid. The total computable costs, which include both the state general fund share as well as the federal authorized funds, are $384,400 for fiscal year 26 and $263,371 for fiscal year 27.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you both coming up and explaining that. We love a reduction. Zeros are better, but we love reductions too. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Adam Plain, PLAIN with the Nevada Division of Insurance of the Department of Business and Industry. The division did attach a fiscal note to Assembly Bill 428 of approximately $87,500 per fiscal year, or $175,000, or excuse me, that's the first fiscal year, because it's half a plan year, $175,000 per fiscal year, or $350,000 per each biennium. It's important to note that this is not a fiscal note reflective of expenses borne by the agency. This is a fiscal note that we've attached under our federal obligations pursuant to 45 CFR section 155.107 sub A3 to identify state mandated benefits in the individual market which may exceed the state's current essential health benefits plan, the topic I've been talking about all session, known as federal defrayal. I'd be happy to answer any questions from the committee about the division's fiscal note.
Members, do you have any questions? And with the delay in start date to the January 2026, that would, the fiscal note for FY26, would that go away and would just start in 27 and then in future bienniums?
For the record, Adam Plain, Madam Chair, that is correct. Because the fiscal year starts on a July 1st and individual market health plans start on a January 1, there's always a 6-month implementation, right, for that first part of the plan year overlapping the fiscal year. So if the implementation date gets pushed back by 1 year, the fiscal year 25-26 note would drop to 0. The fiscal year 26-27 fiscal note would be cut in half to the $87,500, and the effect on future biennia would remain the same.
Thank you so much. Members, any other questions? All right, not seeing any. Thank you so much for being here. And I don't know if we have any representatives from Elko County School District or Carson City or Clark County that could, although the fiscal notes don't affect the state, just wanted to know if you wanted to make any statements about the fiscal notes that were included in the city of Henderson. All right. Not seeing any representatives come to the table and not seeing any other questions from members, we will open up testimony in support of Assembly Bill 428. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Monroe Moreno and members of the Committee on Ways and Means. For the record, Leonardo Benavides with UNLV here today in support of AB 428. We want to thank Assemblymember Flanagan for bringing this very important subject forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go to our phone line and see if we have anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 428.
To provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 428, please press star 9 now to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers in support.
Thank you so much. We'll move to opposition. Do we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 428?
Thank you, Chair and members of the Ways and Means Committee. My name is Nancy Carlson, C-A-R-L-S-O-N, for the record. This bill attempts to preserve fertility for individuals diagnosed with breast or ovarian cancer and whose fertility is impacted by cancer or its treatment. California has recently implemented a similar bill, SB 600, and opposing views on this bill state that insurance plans and the state could incur significant litigation risk, including but not limited to class action lawsuits, inconsistent rulings, and punitive damages. I am in support of this bill, but I want to state my concerns. It does not include all cancers that affect fertility. Cervical, testicular, uterine, lymphoma, thyroid, leukemia, and colorectal cancers can also affect the reproductive organs. Other cancers which don't directly affect reproductive organs can impact fertility through chemotherapy or radiation therapy. Have you considered these other cancers, or are you considering the litigation risk for those with cancers not covered by the bill? My second question is this bill does not consider patient age. Women under 30 have a higher chance of successful fertility preservation after cancer treatment than those older than 30. Should there be an age range for females to improve the potential for positive outcomes? The failure of the bill, in my opinion, is that as written, it does not consider other cancers that affect fertility and does not consider age, which affects fertility treatment outcomes. Please oppose this bill as written. If you do plan to approve it, please consider the legal ramifications of the way the bill is written currently and amend it accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else here in Carson City to testify in opposition and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 428.
To provide testimony in opposition to Assembly Bill 428, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. We will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 428, I invite you to the tables. Good morning.
Morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Ashley Kennedy, representing Clark County. I know there was a question about the local government fiscal notes, so I thought I would come up in neutral. We are neutral on the policy. We did testify to that in the policy committee. Just for the committee's awareness, Clark County has a self-funded health plan. We have about 34,000 people on our health plan. That includes current employees, retirees, and their dependents. We did an actuarial analysis on the fiscal impact of the bill. We anticipate about 50 people a year. With our actuarial analysis, that would be impacted at a cost of about $1.5 million a year. With the delayed implementation, that would obviously move our fiscal note to later years and gives us a little bit of time to budget, but I just wanted to get that on the record based off your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else come to the table here in Carson City for neutral. No one at the table in Las Vegas. We will go to our phone lines one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 428.
To provide testimony in neutral for Assembly Bill 428, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers to provide neutral testimony.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to invite the sponsor of the bill back to the table. I don't know if you had any closing remarks, but I have a closing remark for you. I just wanted to tell you thank you for bringing this bill. I know that there are many forms of cancer that we have been battling. I myself, as a child that started my life in foster care and was adopted by my parents, my mother had both breast cancer and ovarian cancer and could not have children. My father battled cancer as well, a veteran serving in the military. So I know that there is not a perfect bill. I know this is your freshman session. This is your first time before Ways and Means. I want to tell you thank you for this bill. It will help so many families and lives, and I know that you have a personal story, and I'm not going to ask you to tell that story, but I just want to tell you thank you.
Madam Chair, thank you very much for the time to present this bill. It is very personal to me as a 3-time breast cancer survivor, and there are many families who deal with this, and due to the age of when women initially begin to have breast cancer checks at age 40, I think the bill has the components that will regulate the expansion or the overuse of it and will narrow it and be sensitive to the needs of the state as well, and also to our Nevada families. So thank you for the time to present this bill.
Thank you. And with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 428. And as I stated at the top of the agenda, that we will be taking some of the bills out of order, so we will move next to Assembly Bill 476, which is a measure that makes an appropriation to the Thomas and Mack Legal Clinic at the William S. Boyd School of Law at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, I'm Howard Watts, representing Assembly District 15 in the heart of Clark County, and it's my pleasure to present Assembly Bill 476 for your consideration today. I am a proud graduate of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and am honored to represent the main campus for the university in District 15. This bill would make a $500,000 appropriation in each fiscal year of the upcoming biennium to support the legal clinics at the William S. Boyd School of Law at UNLV. This would maintain state support at levels that were approved by this body last session. The legal clinics at the law school provide free legal services to our community while offering students critical real-world legal experience. One of the key missions of Boyd is to help meet the need for legal services among residents through clinical programs, externships, and pro bono services, which involve students in hands-on community service. There are currently 6 clinics and practicums in the law school, including that support populations including survivors of domestic and sexual violence, small business development, immigration, mediation, criminal defense, and tenants' rights. These funds are essential to allow existing pro bono services to continue and to allow some of the law school's newer clinics to develop. The law school also hopes to use funds to support fellows and staff attorneys that are the lifeblood that keep these clinics operational. I just do want to note there is a proposed amendment on this bill. This is at the request of UNLV to preserve some flexibility for the university. UNLV is considering whether to shift some of the programs that are currently specifically housed within the law school into other areas within the university. Even if this happens, the programs would retain a close working relationship with the law school. And because the university seeks and can obtain other grants and funding sources, which sometimes are available only for 1 year, UNLV would like to maintain some flexibility about how to allocate funds between the 2 years of the biennium. So that concludes my presentation. I believe we do have representatives from UNLV available as well if there are any questions that the members of the committee have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Assemblymember Watts, for the presentation. And when you say an amendment, possible amendment, would that be an amendment to not revert those general funds so that they would be able to use them from fiscal year to fiscal year? What would that amendment look like?
Thank you, Howard Watts, for the record. The main issue that they're looking for is the ability to transfer funding if it's unused in the first fiscal year to the second fiscal year. So it would not be a complete protection from reversion. But it would just give flexibility if not all of the funds are used in the first fiscal year to be able to transfer those over to the second fiscal year.
Perfect. Thank you for that clarification. And then how soon would you have that amended language to this?
Howard Watts, for the record, I do have that. So
Perfect. Thank you. I don't have that one in my folder. I will get that. All right. Members, any other questions? Assemblymember Torres Fawcett and then Assemblymember Hibbett.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Could you talk a little bit about the benefit to having some of this experiential legal education for law students? My understanding is that those students that are more competitive later on when they're applying for other opportunities. So I just want to see if you could provide that, or perhaps Boyd.
thank you, Howard Watts, for the record. And while I'm a proud UNLV alum, I confess I'm not a Boyd alum. But from my conversations and working on this in the past, I can say that absolutely those services are something that helps develop the resumes of our law students and helps them, one, identify their interests, get hands-on experience, build relationships, and then helps them succeed once they finish their legal education and enter into their careers. So it really is a win-win, both for win-win-win for the university and its reputation, for the students that are participating in the programs, and then for the community who is getting access to services that might not otherwise exist.
And Assemblymember Torres Fawcett, through the chair to you, Leonardo Benavides with UNLV. I am a proud Boyd graduate and also went through the clinic as well. Ditto echo the sentiments that the Assemblymember made, but in addition to that, I did want to note that the bar exam is changing starting next year in 2027, and one of the new components of that will be supervised practice. And so expanding our clinic services will be very key for that, because there are only so many slots that we currently have. And so a lot of students, they're very popular, they try to get into those clinics, so I think this funding will be very helpful with that.
And then just quick follow-up. My understanding is that we're kind of maintaining funding that has previously been provided, so this would allow for us to maintain those. And so without this funding, we would actually be losing spots that are currently being provided for this experiential learning for those Boyd students. Is that correct?
Once again, Leonardo Benavides, for the record, through to Assemblymember Torres Fawcett, through the chair. Yes, that is completely correct. This is expanding what we've done the last couple of sessions, or not expanding, maintaining what we've done the last couple of sessions.
Thank you, Chair. My question is just about the proposed amendment with the allocation changing from specifically Thomas and Mack Legal Clinic at William S. Boyd to UNLV. Can you explain the reasoning for that and what effect that has on this?
For the record, Leonardo Benavides, Assemblymember Hibbets, through the chair.
You can go directly to the members.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, so as Assemblymember Watts mentioned, it provides flexibility. There's still ongoing conversations, in particular, if some of the clinics need to be moved in some of the other departments while still maintaining a relationship with the law school. So those are still ongoing conversations as to what that would look like, but obviously that would go directly to the clinics themselves.
And Howard Watts, for the record, I do want to note that that's why the law school is being struck, but you will note in the amendment it still is specific. These funds would be specifically earmarked for pro bono legal services, experiential legal education, and student success. So it's still going to the same mission. It's just making sure that if one of these clinic or kind of community service programs is not housed directly in the law school, that it would still be able to access funding under this. appropriation.
Thank you. So just for the record, the university couldn't opt to divert this funding to something else entirely just because we struck the law school from the name.
Howard Watts, for the record, you're correct.
Assembly Member Backus.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And my colleague's question struck an exemplar in my head is I know that the Boyd Law School does not necessarily like a clinic, but there's a training program of children who are going to testify in court. And if I understand, I think that may be in conjunction with like the psychological department or some other school of psychology or some other department. Is that kind of like the overlap that you're kind of explaining for some of these clinics that may occur?
Assemblymember Backus, Leonardo Benavides, for the record to you. Yeah, so we have, for example, we have the Tenix Right legal residency. That's a joint venture with the Legal Aid Center of Southern Nevada. So those are the type of programs that we're talking about as well in terms of conjunction. So, but these would be specifically for the clinics that we have. And I think the Children's Court is the one I believe you're talking about.
I have a follow-up. Okay, because I was thinking myself within the schools itself. I just want to make sure with this funding, this is going directly to the law school, though. The law school's not anticipating giving any grants or anything to community partners out of these funds, are they?
Leonardo Benavides, for the record, yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Thank you. Members, any other questions? Not seeing any. Thank you so much. I'll ask you to step back, and I'll invite to the table anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 476. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman Moreno, members of the committee. For the record, Alejandro Rodriguez, Nevada System of Higher Education. And she's in strong support of AB 476. We'd like to thank Assemblymember Watts for bringing this forward. This is one of our board-approved priorities, so we thank you and urge your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Molly Stubblefield, MOLLY-STUBBLEFIELD. I'm here testifying in my personal capacity. I am a 2024 graduate of the William S. Boyd School of Law at UNLV. I'm here to provide public comment in support of AB 476. I served as a student attorney in the Tenants' Rights Legal Residency, where we represented renters in the community facing eviction. Typically, renters facing eviction are not represented by an attorney, yet we saw firsthand the positive impact that representation had on the outcome of these cases. The clinic program provides invaluable experiential education to students while at the same time providing necessary, free legal services to community members. Serving as a student attorney was the highlight of my law school career. I know that it has already made me a better, more compassionate attorney and will continue to shape the rest of my legal career. Appropriating funds for the Thomas and Mack Legal Clinic will allow the law school to continue to provide these important services and also expand on them in a stable manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning, Madam Chair. My name is Erica Loveland, for the record, ERIKA-LOVELAND, and I just finished my 1L year at the William S. Boyd School of Law, and will be the first class to take that new bar that was referred to earlier. Not only is this a wise investment in Nevada's legal future, for students like me who just want to provide the very best possible services to our community, but also it's a wise investment in our community in general to be able to provide these pro bono services. I'm excited to be here to join those clinics and to be able to offer that in a qualified way, thanks to the professors and the staff at these wonderful clinics. I urge you to support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good morning, Chair, members of the committee. My name is Caitlin Gwynn, CAITLIN-GWIN. I'm here in my personal capacity. I am a graduate of the Boyd School of Law, class of 2024, and I was a student attorney with the Survivors Representation and Advocacy Clinic. We do domestic violence work. We assisted clients with temporary protection orders, extension hearings on those orders, record sealing, and a variety of other services. I'll be brief, but there's 3 amazing things about this clinic. First of all, it provides an invaluable part of legal education. I'm embarrassed to say for the first 2.5 years of my law school career, I hadn't been in a courtroom. After being part of the clinic, within weeks, I was in a court in front of a hearing master representing clients. You can't get that in a classroom. It makes you a better attorney. I will remind the committee that Boyd is the only law school in the state, so stronger attorneys make a stronger Nevada. Most importantly, it is the essential services that the clinics provide to the community. This is tangible, real lawyering. The committee knows that we are working with real clients in need. We're doing intake counseling, advice, motion work. We're representing folks at hearings. I'm confident that our clients would not have had the same legal outcome that they would have, that they did with the clinic. And it personally has inspired me to do pro bono work in this area after finishing my clerkship here. And lastly, I can't speak on an authority to this, but others have mentioned the upcoming requirements of the bar exam. This will streamline in that transition. So thank you. I support.
Thank you.
Michael Flores on behalf of the University of Nevada, Reno, here in strong support. And we do recognize UNLV has the only law school in the state, and we're grateful that there's such great partners. I see Michael Kagan there in the back of the room in Las Vegas, and can't thank him enough for all of his advocacy and work in our community throughout the state. And we work really closely with him and his team with everything going on right now. So happy to be here in full support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City to offer support testimony. And not seeing anyone at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go to our phone lines to see if we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 476.
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 476, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Caller with the last 3 digits, 642, please press star 6 to unmute.
Hello. Thank you to the committee members for giving me an opportunity to speak in favor of funding the Thomas and Mack Legal Clinic at William S. Boyd School of Law. My name is Austin Lipson. That's Lipson. And I'm graduating from Boyd this year, and I have worked in the legal clinic. In my opinion, the legal clinic offers the most powerful training experience at the law school. It not only provides students an opportunity to work on extremely high-stakes cases, but it often allows students to see those cases through from beginning to end, which is a rare and extremely informative process for a law student. Clinic cases give students a chance to practice a litany of lawyering skills, such as research, evidence preparation, witness interviewing, interfacing with government agencies, litigation, and so on. So important are the skills that a student sharpens in the Thomas and Mack Legal Clinic that I know many students who have worked in the clinic, even though they ultimately don't plan on practicing in the area of law that they focus on there, they just know that working there will make them better lawyers. Aside from serving as a powerful training tool, the Thomas and Mack Legal Clinic also provides students at the law school with a service opportunity that is unmatched by any other program. To illustrate this point, I will share what I told the law school's first-year students about the program last month. Clinic allowed my practice partner and I to use the law to save someone's life. And the work I did in the clinic is the thing I am most proud of that I have ever done. So in sum, the Thomas and Mack Legal Clinic is invaluable for turning law students into skilled lawyers, and it provides life-saving services to the clients it helps. Please vote in favor of Assembly Bill 476 to fund the clinic. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Great. I haven't done this before. My name is Sarah Kirby. I am a 2L at University of Las Vegas, and I participated in the clinic. So I didn't write anything, and it sounds like a lot of people have really covered why the clinic is so amazing at UNLV, but I can just share my experience, which I was an Osvaldo Fellow last summer. So I had a client that I was writing an appeal to the Ninth Circuit, and it actually got called for oral arguments. So myself and one of my classmates, we actually prepared under like the mentorship of Michael Kagan and Alyssa Cooley in order to present oral arguments. So as far as the resume building aspect of this bill, as far as like student success, I mean, there's attorneys who will go their entire career, I've been told, with going to the Ninth Circuit being the highlight. And so just that experience in my second year of law school was just incredible. And it prepared me in ways that I still don't understand, but public speaking, understanding different arguments, how to express your ideas succinctly, but also intelligently. Obviously, I'm still working on that one. But yeah, I would encourage y'all to vote yes. I think the clinic is a really cool opportunity. I'm really grateful for its existence, and it's the reason why I came to UNLV. I'm originally from Delaware, but I came out here because of the clinic that's available. So anyway, thank you so much. That is all I have to share.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
What button do I press?
Broadcast, do we have any other callers?
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak in favor of Assembly Bill 476. My name is Harut Kachoyan, for the record, HARUTKHACHOYAN. I graduated from the William S. Boyd School of Law last week, and I had the opportunity to work with the legal clinic. Clinic not only represents an educational cornerstone for law students, but also serves as a vital access to justice tool for our most vulnerable community members. My role in the clinic involved advocating for a client facing a legal issue with life-changing consequences. Working alongside a fellow law student and under the supervision of a licensed attorney, I was entrusted with my client's story, their fears, and ultimately their future. I conducted client interviews, drafted legal documents, and had the privilege of appearing in court. The experience was both humbling and transformative. It sharpened my legal skills in ways no classroom ever could, while instilling a profound sense of responsibility and purpose. Clinic provides a unique opportunity to law school students because it functions at the intersection of education and public service. Students receive hands-on training in real-world lawyering, while clients, many of whom cannot afford legal representation, gain access to dedicated advocates who are deeply committed to their cases. Clinic fills a critical gap in Nevada's justice system, especially for those who might otherwise fall through the cracks. Assembly Bill 476 is not just an investment in legal education, it is an investment in the legal empowerment of our community. By funding the clinic, the state will ensure that both future attorneys and underserved Nevadans continue to benefit from this unique model of experimental learning and service. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much. Next caller?
Caller with the last three digits, 385, please press *6 to unmute.
Good morning, Madam Chair. For the record, my name is Kira Clark, and I am appearing in my personal capacity. I graduated last week from the UNLV William S. Boyd School of Law. I'm here today to express my strong support for the Thomas and Mack Legal Clinic, not to be confused with the Thomas and Mack Center where UNLV plays its basketball games. During my final year of law school, I had the privilege of working as a student attorney in the Survivor Representation and Advocacy Clinic under the guidance of Professor Courtney Cross. As a Nevada resident for the past 25 years, I've witnessed how much this valley has grown. I truly cannot imagine our community thriving without the support and services provided by the Thomas and Mack Legal Clinic. In law school, you spend a lot of time reading cases and sometimes really old cases, so it's easy to lose sight of the real-life impact the law has on people. The clinic bridges that gap. My clinic partner and I work directly with over 10 clients throughout the year. Some of our cases involve temporary protection orders. We assisted survivors of intimate partner violence who were seeking court orders to protect their physical safety. We were not only offering legal assistance, but standing with our clients in court. The experience I gained in clinic is the kind of practical, hands-on training that simply cannot be taught in a classroom or learned from a textbook. Thanks to the clinic, I not only have a stronger resume, but I also feel far more confident in my ability to advocate effectively for my future clients. Where there is a will, I trust this committee will find the ways and means to support the UNLV Thomas & Mack Legal Clinic. It is not only transforming the lives of Nevada residents for the better, it is also shaping the next generation of Nevada lawyers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Next caller.
Chair, we have no additional callers in support.
Thank you. Then we will move to opposition. If there's anyone here that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 476, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go back to the phone line. Do we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 476?
To testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 476, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to neutral. Is there anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on AB 476? And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone line one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 476.
To testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 476, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much, and we will ask the presenter, who is shaking his head no, for closing comments. So we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 476. And we will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 593. 593 makes appropriations to the Interim Finance Committee for costs associated with the implementation of the Enterprise Resource Planning System. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Tiffany Greenmeyer, Director for the Governor's Finance Office. I'm here to present AB 593, and here with me is Director Brian Bulls and Administrator Brady Phillips to answer any questions the committee may have. So AB 593 provides an allocation of general fund in the Interim Finance Committee in the sum of $53,434,995, and to implement the Enterprise Resource Planning System. This bill also appropriates funding from the State Highway Fund in the amount of $12,534,135 for the implementation of the Enterprise Resource Planning System. And with that, I will stand for any questions.
Members, any questions on 593? Assembly Member Bacchus.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and just want to thank the GFO's office for this BDR being consistent with, I believe, the hearings we had and putting that funding in the, obviously, interim finance committee's review so we can keep on top of it. I know there were times you all thought that was just green and yellows, but there were some, like, I guess, the lower standard in the review. And so I think it's important just to keep on top of these projects because I know our technology costs our state a lot of money. So look forward to continuing watching Court and V after the session ends. So thank you.
Members, any other questions or comments? Not seeing any. Thank you so much. And we will call to the table anyone that's here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 593. Not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone line. Do we have anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 593 joining us by phone?
If you would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 593, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers in support.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to opposition. Do we have anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 593? And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City and no one at the table in Las Vegas, we will go again to the phone lines to see if we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 593.
If you would like to provide testimony in opposition to Assembly Bill 593, please press star 9 now to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers in opposition.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 593, I invite you to the tables here in Carson City and Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we will go back to the phone line one last time to see if we have anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 593.
If you would like to testify in neutral for Assembly Bill 593, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral testimony.
Thank you so much, and we'll ask the presenters if there's any closing comments. Seeing none, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 593. And we will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 483, which provides for a priority review for certain applications for the licensure to practice health professions. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Tracy Brown May, and I am very happy to be here to have this opportunity to present the fiscal notes for Assembly Bill 483. This measure comes from the Interim Committee on Health and Human Services, and it is meant to address delays in licensure for medical professionals. The fiscal notes that were presented, and I do have an email exchange back and forth from Division of Public and Behavioral Health, Administrator Finney, to remove the fiscal notes from that division by excluding renewal applications from the requirements. The change in this bill will apply to initial applications starting with bill implementation. This is an amendment that you should have in front of you that came out this morning. And then secondarily, the second fiscal note came from the State Board of Athletic Trainers and the Nevada Board of Dispensing Opticians. The second part of the amendment is Section 5, Subsection 2, Health Licensing Boards. We eliminated all of the boards except for Chapters 630, 631, 632, and 633, which deal directly with medical doctors, osteopathic doctors, dentistry, nursing, which eliminates those two fiscal notes. With that, I'm happy to stand for questions.
Thank you. We appreciate the work that you've done to get to this amendment to address the fiscal notes. If there's anyone in the audience that's here that were associated with the original fiscal notes and just want to testify and put on the record that those fiscal notes have been removed and or adjusted, that would be great. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. I am Letitia with the Metherell with the Division of Public and Behavioral Health. And yes, I would like to confirm with the amendment, our division fiscal note will be removed.
Thank you so much. We like zeros in this committee. Members, any questions for the presenter? Not seeing any. Thank you so much. We'll invite to the table anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 483. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone line and see if we have anyone joining us that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 483.
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 483, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Victor Salcido with Community Health Alliance. Community Health Alliance is a federally qualified health center located in Washoe County that serves over 33,000 unique patients. We are in strong support of this bill. As you are all aware, the state of Nevada struggles with a provider shortage when it comes to specifically primary medical care, which is one of the services we provide. And we provide those services in areas of historical need. And so with this, anything we can do to help alleviate that, particularly a backlog in licensure, is going to have a positive effect, not only on our organization, but more importantly, on those patients we serve in these communities. I'd like to thank the interim committee for bringing this bill forward. And we, again, are in strong support of AB 483. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller?
Chair, we have no additional callers for support testimony.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 483, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go back to the phone line to see if there's anyone joining us that would like to provide testimony in opposition of AB 483.
To testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 483, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 483, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the tables here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we'll go one last time to the phone line to see if we have anyone joining us that would like to testify in the neutral position on Assembly Bill 483.
To testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 483, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much. We'll ask the presenter if there's any closing comments. She is shaking her head no, so we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 483. And we will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 553, which transfers the Division of Emergency Management of the Office of the Military to the Office of the Governor. Good morning and welcome back.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Tiffany Greenmeyer, Director for the Governor's Finance Office. Here to present AB 553. And AB 553 is an implementation bill that transfers the Division of Emergency Management to the Office of the Governor, and from the Office of the Military to the Office of the Governor. And this bill, it supports the budget closing. And I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you so much. I believe we have a few questions. We'll go to Assembly Member Backus.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And I did have a couple questions. First, I know this was a budget implementation bill, but some of the funding that was approved by the Money Committee was contingent upon this bill passing. That's my understanding, correct?
I believe that is correct.
And Madam Chair, if you're okay with another question, and I'm not sure if you can answer this, Madam GFO, but we may need someone. I was just curious, why is it that our Division of Emergency Management would be being moved out of the Office of Military and put into the Office of the Governor?
Tiffany Greenmeyer for the record. I will try to answer this one. My understanding, it was to allow the governor to have better access to emergency management. During the pandemic, it was clear that it would have been fit better at the governor's office.
And then one last question. I think one of my colleagues may have a question. During, I think one of the subcommittees, I know there was funding asked for some, like maybe software that could be utilized in the governor's office. And then also, I think it may have been separated from that of the Division of Emergency Management. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay, because I won't go there. I'll go ahead and defer to my colleague who has a question.
Thank you. We'll go next to Assemblymember Watts.
Thank you, Chair. I'll help out a little bit here as the subcommittee chair for public safety. So this office has moved around quite a bit. It was originally in public safety, and there was a sense that it didn't quite fit there. So then it was moved into the Office of the Military, and still indicated that it didn't quite fit there either. And so the proposal of moving it within the governor's office is really to the emergency management, both as kind of an issue and that division really needed to be essentially brought to kind of the cabinet level and work with all of the other agencies in that manner. And so that's why it was brought forward. So we, as a subcommittee, did approve that in our budget closing. And we hope that this is the right place, but we will continue to monitor that in future sessions and make any additional adjustments as necessary.
So Assemblymember Watts, if I understand, because I have been here for all of the movements of this, if we find that it's not a good fit, there may be another bill in our future to move it once again.
That's correct.
All right. Members, any other questions? Not seeing any, thank you so much. And we'll invite to the table anyone that would like to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 553. Not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or the table in Las Vegas. We will go to the phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 553.
If you would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 553, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 553, I invite you to the tables, both here in Carson City and Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we'll go again to our phone line to see if we have anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of AB 553.
If you would like to testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 553, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers in opposition.
Thank you so much. Then we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 553, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach to provide testimony, we will go to the phone lines one last time to see if we have anyone who has joined us that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 553.
If you would like to testify in neutral for Assembly Bill 553, please press star 9 to join the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much. And we'll ask the presenter if you have any closing remarks. She's shaking her head no. So with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 553. And we will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 462, which revises provisions relating to economic development. And invite our Vice Chair to the table. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Monroe Marino and members of the Assembly Committee on Ways and Means. My name is Shay Backus, and I represent Assembly District 37. I'm happy to come before you and present Assembly Bill 462, mainly, obviously, the fiscal impact of this bill. This bill, just an overview, this bill is to revise provisions relating to economic development. It contains two parts. The first part of this bill revises existing laws pertaining to inland ports, and the second part revises existing law implementing the teacher pipeline. I'll start with the fiscal impact on the first part for inland ports and industrial parks. I do have GOED Stephen Wood here to respond to any inquiries that may come up that I am unable to answer. With the first reprint, an unsolicited fiscal note from the Department of Taxation was submitted, removing its fiscal note for a one-time cost set forth in the original fiscal note submitted on April 3rd, 2025. When reviewing the fiscal notes submitted by the various counties and school districts, many could not ascertain a financial impact due to a lost revenue, while other localities provided no impact. AB 462 reiterates existing law providing for Inland Port Authority, which allows local government to apply to the Office of Economic Development to create, operate, and maintain an inland port and an inland port authority in a contiguous area. This bill revises this authority to include industrial park and an industrial park authority. Should a local government choose, and it's their choice, to have an industrial park, it can adopt an ordinance creating a tax increment area. The creation of inland parks are completely up to the county or incorporated city. So it would be purely an economic development decision. So for their reported losses, they would be making that decision if they choose to have an inland park. I can stop there, Madam Chair, if you want to ask questions on that, or I can go on to our second part.
Members, do you have any questions on the first part of Assembly Bill 462, the Inland Port Authority? Not seeing any on that economic development part of this bill, we can move on to the second part.
I'm just joking.
Unless your co-presenter would like to say something, this is your chance.
Stephen Wood for the record, Madam Chair. I think you've heard from me enough already this session.
Thank you so much. You can continue.
Shay Backus for the record. I'm just keeping Mr. Wood here for company. Because I don't think he wants to answer any questions regarding this, but we may have some phone friends that may come up for the second part. As for the second portion of the bill pertaining to language to clean up the teacher pipeline bill from last session, which is Assembly Bill 428 from the 2023 session, this is the portion that had fiscal notes making the bill probably appealing to Ways and Means. Well, there has been some unsolicited fiscal notes submitted after the first reprint. There has been a lot of work to remove fiscal notes for this bill. I do want to recognize Daniel Stewart of Brownstein, Hyatt, Faber, and Schreck, who has spent a lot of time assisting me on getting the fiscal notes addressed. And he's actually upstairs, so I was waiting for him. If he pops in, if someone has more complicated questions that I can't answer, we'll probably defer to him. First, I would like to address the various local government fiscal notes submitted. Mainly, the school districts provided that the costs associated with implementing portions of the Teacher Academy College Pathways program would be undetermined. Existing law requires only large school districts having more than 100,000 enrolled pupils. Right now, this is only Clark County School District. CCSD has provided that there will be no impact. Similar to the inland ports, the Teachers Academy College Pathways program is optional to our smaller school districts, so they can elect to implement the program or not. We did notice that there was one fiscal note that remained from our, let me go to it. The White Pine County School District, they had submitted, after the other fiscal notes, submitted an unsolicited fiscal note addressing the teacher pipeline, but once again, this would be completely optional should they choose to engage. And I think they thought it was somehow mandatory because some of the other statutory provisions from the prior bill were not in this bill. With that, the second fiscal note was from Nevada System of Higher Education, and they had removed their fiscal note after the first reprint. Last, I will address Department of Education's fiscal note. I'd like to note perfect timing by having Mr. Stewart walk in. From the initial draft to the first reprint, NDE reduced its ask from 3 full-time employees to 2 full-time employees. After a lot of work, we are proposing an amendment to address NDE's concerns about work requiring the 2 additional employees. From the proposed amendment, the requirement for a seal in Section 23 has been removed, thus removing the need for the Management Analysis 2 position. Additional language to clarify the use of the 2 full-time employees in GoWin under our Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation for the program that this committee provided last legislative session has cleared up the remaining need for the 1 EPP position. Ultimately, the goal will be to move these positions next session, hopefully, so that they can align maybe under ND if that seems to work out better. But that is a discussion to be had at a later date. I thank the committee for your time hearing Assembly Bill 462, and I stand ready to answer any questions. And so we're on the second part. So Mr. Stewart's here. Mr. Stewart is here too to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Mr. Stewart, did you have anything to add to the presentation?
Daniel Stewart for the record. No, it sounds good. There was the 3 things that they wanted, NDE. They wanted the steel provisions out. Those are out. They wanted, if you notice, there's a proposed amendment to Section 22 about working in the middle schools and having folks in the junior high schools. That piece has also been deleted as part of their fiscal note. And then the big piece is the using of the GoWin employees that currently stand as employees for the pipeline concept. It looks like that's actually going to eventually be better off in NDE, but they have now worked out an agreement to do a sharing those employees in that process, so there'd be no need for a fiscal note there.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions for the presenter and her 2 phoner friends that are at the table now before we invite those that had fiscal notes on the bill to come to the table and testify to the current status of the fiscal notes? All right, not seeing any questions from members. Thank you so much. So I'd like to invite up to the table those that had fiscal notes or still have fiscal notes associated with AB 462. Good morning.
Good morning again, Madam Chair. For the record, Alejandro Rodriguez, Nevada System of Higher Education. I can confirm that NSHE did remove its fiscal note after the first reprint.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning. Christy McGill, Deputy Superintendent for the Nevada Department of Education. Our fiscal note is removed as well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And there was a small fiscal note from the Department of Taxation. Sorry.
Just keep bringing me back, Madam Chair. Stephen Wood for the record with GoEd. We did have some good discussions with the Department of Taxation. That fiscal note was regarding the system that they use for tax increment areas. Through our discussions, it was determined that the system doesn't need a significant update to handle what we're talking about here, since it's not significantly different than other tax increment areas, and the department has agreed that there's no longer a fiscal impact.
Thank you so much. You know, I do like to fish, so I just kind of reel them back in. So, all right. Members, any questions before we go to testimony? Not seeing any, then we will open testimony in support of Assembly Bill 462. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair, Committee members. Marie Nices, M-A-R-I-E-N-E-I-S-E-S-S, President of CCEA. Thank you, Assemblymember Backus, for bringing this bill forward. I'm here today to express my strong support of AB 462. During the 23 legislative session, the Educator Pipeline Bill was passed. However, implementation was challenging. Based on our experience, AB 462 identifies key areas that require adjustments to strengthen the effectiveness of this legislation. As an educator, I recognize the vital importance of providing clear career pathways for our students. AB 462 will help level the playing field for addressing systemic barriers to career success and ensuring that all students have equal access to career opportunities. The Teacher Academy College Pathway will create a more diverse workforce. By supporting students, the Structured Pathways program will help address our teacher shortage. CCA is committed to supporting CCSD students. We are collaborating with the new CCSD superintendent to ensure the successful implementation of the Teacher Academy College Pathway. Furthermore, CCEA is investing $2 million to help offset costs for CCSD students, reinforcing our commitment to tackling the teacher shortage head-on. I urge you to support AB 462 to help build a stronger future for Nevada students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Alejandro Rodriguez, Nevada System of Higher Education, and she is also in support of AB 462. We'd like to thank Assemblymember Backus and Mr. Stewart for working with us on amendments, and we urge your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hello again, Chair Monroe Moreno, and members of the Committee on Ways and Means. For the record, Leonardo Benavides with UNLV, here in support of AB 462. Similar to the comments made by Enchi, we want to thank Mr. Dan Stewart, CCEA, and Assemblymember Backus for working with us on the fiscal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go inland ports, too. We love them.
Good morning again, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Taylor Avery, and I'm the Manager of Political Affairs for the Vegas Chamber. The Vegas Chamber is in support of the fiscal policy of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Chair, members of the committee. Amber Stidham with Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. Appreciate the shout out for inland ports. We also, too, relative to that point, support this bill and appreciate Assemblywoman Backus for bringing this forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Monroe Moreno, members of the committee. My name is Wesley Harper. I'm the Director of Government Affairs for the City of North Las Vegas. We are in support of this bill. The inland port idea is something that would be valuable to the city. We support the other aspects and thank the sponsor for bringing it forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City, and no one. You can go ahead down south.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Emily Osterberg. I'm the Director of Government Affairs for the Henderson Chamber of Commerce, and we are also in support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else at the table in Las Vegas, we will go to our phone line. Do we have anyone joining us by phone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 462?
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 462, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, Chair Marino and members of the committee. For the record, this is Mindy Elliott with Flynn Judici Government Affairs. Today, on behalf of the Port Authority of Nevada, which is located in Fernley. AB 462 is a forward-looking measure. We appreciate all the work that has been done. We appreciate the bill sponsor, and we are in very strong support of this measure. Thank you, and have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Next caller.
Chair, we have no additional callers in support.
Thank you. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 462, I invite you to the tables. Not seeing anyone here at the table in Carson City and not seeing anyone approach the table in Las Vegas. We will go to the phone line. Do we have anyone on the phones that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 462?
To testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 462, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers in opposition.
Thank you so much, and we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 462, I invite you to the table. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Taylor Allison, Taylorallison. Here on behalf of Lyon County, we did testify in opposition during the policy hearing on this bill, but we do believe with the reprint and amended language, limiting the industrial parks to adjacent to the inland port does significantly address the county's concerns and potential fiscal impact. So we are neutral at this time, and we would like to thank the bill sponsor, Assemblymember Backus, and GoEd for working with us and hearing our concerns. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us this morning. Not seeing anyone at the table in Las Vegas to provide testimony in the neutral position, we will go to the phone lines to see if there's anyone that would like to testify in the neutral position on Assembly Bill 462.
To testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 462, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for neutral.
Thank you so much, and we will go back to the bill sponsor for closing comments.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Shea Backus for the record. And I normally would have waived closing remarks, but I also wanted to thank Director Sewell for sitting here all morning to be here in case I needed another call a friend. I didn't want to leave him out for his hard work involved in this as well. Thank you so much.
The director is an amazing phone a friend, so thank you. And with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 462. And members, that brings us to 10:30. Perfect timing to take our recess now to get to our caucus meetings. I will see you all on the floor. We will stand in recess, and we will be back to finish our agenda for the day after the afternoon committee meetings. We are in recess.